Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Too Ambitious. I'm so happy to be here with you all this morning or this afternoon or wherever you're joining me from. Thank you for making me part of your day. So, today I have an amazing episode for you, and you would not believe who is here in the studio with me. You're just gonna just be like, oh my God, because she's all of that. But first off, tell me where you all are joining from. Let me know where you're joining me from. I'm in California, the great state of California. You tell me where you're joining from, and let me know how the weather is. I know it's been crazy out there, and my family lives in Georgia and snow. I have friends in Florida where it's snowing. So I hope that wherever you're joining me from, you are staying warm and staying safe and taking care of yourselves and your families. Now, as I mentioned, today is going to be an amazing show. So, first off, let me tell you who is here today. All right. Are you ready? Okay. So, today I have the extraordinary Clarene Mitchell. That's right, people. Clarene Mitchell is here. She is the special guest on our show today. She's a LinkedIn legend. And guess what? She's also the CEO founder of TCM Communications. Now, her company is dedicated to helping success driven professionals and businesses use LinkedIn to grow their online brands. Amazing, right? Now, Clarene comes from a background in print journalism and public relations. She's leveraged all her skills to become a successful author of the book Shine Online with LinkedIn. LinkedIn isn't just an online database of resumes. Amazing, right? Great title. She's also a ghostwriter and LinkedIn coach for entrepreneurs and executives. So, I want you all to show her so much love because she's going to tell us how she has built her career as an entrepreneur for the past several years. And she's just absolutely extraordinary. So join me in welcoming the great, the amazing, the incomparable Clarene Mitchell.
Oh my goodness, that introduction. Whoa. Wait, I'm like, who is that? Oh, she's talking about me? Yes,
Yes.
I, I
Yes,
am her. I am she. All of that. That's
that's right. That's right. You are amazing. Welcome to the
oh,
show.
I am honored to be here, Trish, with the phenomenal, fabulous Trish. Oh my goodness. Lindo.
Hey.
That's her. That's her. We here together.
I love it. I love it. Well, thank you. Thank you. I feel like we've known each other forever, but
Right.
we've actually never met in person, which we got to change that at some point.
I well, like this is the first step toward that, right? This is our first time having FaceTime together, and
Yeah,
now the next
yeah.
step is in real life, right?
That's right. We got to make that happen. So this is a really special show because if anybody out there, if you don't know, I used to work at LinkedIn, and Clarene was part of our creator LinkedIn Accelerator program. She is an alumni of that program, so I'm not really sure. Like we didn't even cross paths when you were in that program, which is weird.
But we actually met before I got in the Creative Accelerator program. So I made a post about because I track everything, right? And so, hey, Rhonda, hey,
Hey,
everyone who's out there. Wendy,
yeah,
it's great to see you as well. But
yes.
we connected, I maybe in 2021 initially, which is interesting, even with me being here with you, because
Right.
as far as the point about LinkedIn and what we'll get into talking about, you just never know where the paths will lead. You
So
know,
true.
a connection you make randomly on a virtual session, on a virtual meeting, on LinkedIn, and you just never know what could happen years later. Here, you and I are together.
I
What a
know. I
blessing.
know that this moment in time started many years ago, and now we're finally catching up to it.
Right.
So, yeah, so this is
Right.
amazing. So,
If I wasn't shining online, or
mhm,
if we didn't have good networking, respectful
yeah.
networking on LinkedIn, I wouldn't be here with you, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, that is the power of LinkedIn, hands down,
Mhm.
which takes me to my next point of the work that you do. So why don't you just kind of set the stage, tell us exactly what you do to make people great, online.
I empower people, my clients, to shine online, to generate results from the platform. But it all takes owning their brands, owning their brilliance, owning their expertise, understanding the platform, and then being able to leverage it effectively. So
Amen.
that's where I come in. My expertise is being able to take my clients through that process, whether it's the one-on-one coaching or the corporate training, but take them through that process of zeroing in on their personal brands and being able to leverage the platform to excel and generate results.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that, you've done such a great job of it, not just your clients, but everyone else that comes in contact with your
Right.
amazing posts, very inspiring, always dropping knowledge to us, on what we need to do on LinkedIn. I do appreciate that. So thank you. And
You're welcome.
what I was curious about though is that,
Uh-oh.
you started being an entrepreneur like several years ago. And,
2017, July
yeah,
2017. Mhm.
yeah. So what was happening in your life at that time, and what caused
Mhm.
the pivot to becoming a LinkedIn coach?
Mhm. There's the story behind all of that. It's nothing that I initially or long term had any aspirations to become an
Right.
entrepreneur.
Okay.
It I got bit by the bug serendipitously, I guess, where so at the time, you want to go there, Trish, we can go there. It wasn't
Tell me everything.
it was a dark time in my life actually where I had a dramatic job loss in the fall of 2016.
Okay.
But still, again, never had visions of becoming an entrepreneur. And so I was heavy into job seeking mode.
Right.
I started using LinkedIn, even though I had a profile, an account years prior, started using it more mm, pro- aggressively, I'll say.
Okay. Yeah.
And my background, as you said, is print journalism, public relations. So I was leaning into that, publishing articles that at that time, LinkedIn articles was way hotter than they are now.
Yes.
So that's how I built my brand, publishing articles on the platform, leaning into sharing information about public relations, branding, all of that.
Yeah.
But so I was going to job seeking networking groups, and people in those groups were seeing what I was doing on LinkedIn. It was like, okay, Clarene, how do you do whatever? They saw me doing on LinkedIn. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
cool. Let's meet after our networking meeting and
Right.
support group, and I'll show you, walk you through. So we go
Right.
to coffee shop and they'll go on and get jobs while I'm sitting twiddling my thumbs trying to figure out what to do with my life.
Right.
So I got to the point of understanding that there was an expertise I had, something I could do very easily on the platform, but
Right.
others struggled with.
Right.
There was an opportunity. So, I was still no opportunities were coming up job wise for me. So
Right.
I leaned into, hey, instead of just meeting for us the sake of a cup of coffee, or not coffee because I don't drink coffee, tea.
Right. Tea. Yeah.
Right. Instead, like I turned it into a business. So
Yeah.
slowly built it up from there. It was more broad public relations where I was doing
Okay.
crisis communication, press releases, promotional
Yeah.
kind of creating news opportunities for clients, plus doing the social media management and
Right.
then honed into LinkedIn because of the
Okay.
gap in people
Right.
really understanding the
Mhm.
platform and being able to leverage it. So
Yeah.
that's the story, the shortened version
The
of
the shortened version, I feel like there's a book in there, just saying,
another one.
because
Okay.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think that, adversity, always at some
Mhm,
point leads to some form of innovation. So, you know,
mhm,
kudos to you for recognizing that your expertise and sharing it with your colleagues and now your clients.
mhm,
So you've been an entrepreneur now, so since 2017.
mhm.
So
7.
far,
Mhm.
yeah. So far on this journey, what is the biggest lesson that you've learned about business or about being an entrepreneur? I mean, I'm sure
Really?
there's several.
Yeah, like therein could be the next book, but
Right.
a lot of lessons. Um, One of the biggest lessons I learned, and somewhat the hard way,
Yeah.
and thankfully I had a coach that helped me learn the lesson early on. Especially, I learned it finally. I started the business 2017. Didn't
Yeah.
learn this lesson until 2020 during the pandemic
Yeah.
because I had a coach at the time, and it changed the trajectory of my business because of that lesson. So
Right.
the lesson is charging my worth, putting the rate, aligning my services rate to
Mhm.
as closely as I could to the value that I provide my clients,
Right.
right? Um, Game changer.
Yeah.
And so not nickel and diming or, second guessing my rates, but setting my rates at a price point that aligned with my value, but also allowed me to work smarter versus harder, right?
Yes. Yes. That's the hardest part, I think, too,
Mhm.
is knowing what the rates are, sort of structuring your business in a way that, one,
Right.
doesn't lead to burnout,
Mhm.
and also at the same time provides you the financial stability to keep going and to keep
Right.
scaling the business,
And it was
So
a hard lesson to learn, even my coach, when she was like, trust me, Clarene, trust me. And it took a lot to trust her because even what she said was true, though. Like, it allowed for me to get a higher caliber of clients as well. Again, versus, you know, y- having a price point so low, but then people expecting so much, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
but having that alignment.
Yeah, absolutely. And like Rhonda Glenn says, yesterday I shared that many entrepreneurs didn't choose entrepreneurship, it chose them, and I was pillared.
Mhm.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Rhonda, for sharing that because it's true, you
My
know?
hand is up for that. That's true for me. It chose me. I didn't
Yeah,
choose it. It
yeah,
like bit me. That bug, it bit me later
yeah.
in life. But very
Yeah,
fulfilling.
and I mean, I think, I think I did a post the other day where people talk about entrepreneurship and, glamorizing it. People always glamorize it, and especially in social media,
Right,
but they
right,
don't realize, the literally blood, sweat, and tears that goes into it, you know?
right. And it's interesting because quite often you follow my content and you may have seen some of these posts where I take the veil off, so to speak, of the
Mhm.
glamored view of
Right.
entrepreneurship,
Yep.
and I talk real life, like what is
Do.
a day in the life of my entrepreneur or an
Yeah.
experience I've had that
Right.
people would not understand, what goes on
Yeah.
behind the scenes. It's not all
Yeah.
the fun, the high.
It's no.
It's
It's not, I can attest to that as well.
oh no,
So
into people are very well. How they it resonates with people.
Yeah, it's true
So
because sometimes you feel like you're alone because as an entrepreneur, it can be a lonely journey sometimes. So when you see posts that are really sort of keeping it real, you're like, "Oh, okay. Yeah, they're dealing with the same thing too." I'm
I wish
not just
more
in
of
this
us
by myself.
I
Yeah,
wish more of us would do that. Keep it
yeah.
real in the content.
Seriously,
Mhm.
So tell me a little bit about how you work with your clients to shine online, which I love, by the way. You've got that trademark, right? Okay, let's move past that. Okay, so how do you work with them? And what does it mean, when you're trying to get a client to level up and shine online? How do they work? How does that work?
There's different options that I engage with my clients, whether it's the one-on-one coaching or
Mhm.
corporate training from a brand ambassadorship perspective,
Okay.
or the ghostwriting, where
Okay.
I go in and do it for them. Again, it's all about, as my slogan is for my business, shine online, that star, being radiant
Yeah.
and standing out,
Right.
because on the news feed, there's so much information, right?
Right.
And you blend in and you get no traction, but really owning your brand and being able to build that reputation on the platform and shine,
Right.
you know, and
Yeah.
generate the results that you want. So
Yeah.
it's all about Shine, owning our brand, owning our brilliance, our story, and being able to boldly tell that story consistently on the platform.
Yeah, and I love that you have. I'm sharing your LinkedIn page right now. If you're not following Clarene, follow her right now because she has all of her information here. And you talk about how people can show up,
Mhm.
disrupt how you use LinkedIn. I always love how you position these your posts as well. Like you go hard. I love it. And I also love that, you share like the services and your offerings, so if someone is trying to find you, if they're trying to decide
Mhm.
whether or not if you are the right fit, it's right there. You're not trying to hide anything. It's like, here it is, you know?
And I say that to prospects during the sales calls. There's full transparency with my offerings because I use LinkedIn in a very comprehensive way and it's there. So during my
Yeah.
sales calls, I take people to certain information so they see I'm not making it up as I'm going along from one person to another.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
have a set structure with my business, my offerings, with my
Yeah.
rates, and all of that. So yes, there
Yeah.
it's so
Well,
utilized LinkedIn with the different features, and a part of what I teach my clients is how to leverage that.
yeah, and I think a lot of people, as you probably know too, still don't know the power of LinkedIn, So why do
Yep.
you think that LinkedIn is, such a standout, especially if you're a professional or an entrepreneur, versus, going on other social platforms? Why do you think that is?
Because the nature of LinkedIn is all about professional business results or activity,
Mhm.
right? It's not where it's a secondary thought or blended in with everything else that's going on.
Right.
That's what LinkedIn is all about. That's
Yeah.
the foundation of
Right.
LinkedIn,
Yeah.
professional and business networking. It's not just for job seekers, it's so much more than that. The platform
Yes.
continues to evolve. Unfortunately, a lot of people are still stuck into the mindset that it's just for job seekers. It's
Right.
not. They
It's
need
true.
rebranding. They need a campaign, a bold, creative campaign to
Yeah.
help more people understand this platform is so much more than just for job seekers and
Absolutely.
recruiters.
Yeah.
But when it comes to LinkedIn in comparison to other platforms, those platforms really are geared to, social fun, entertainment, family
Mhm.
relations,
Right.
friends, and all of that. Business, you can sneak it in, so to speak,
Yeah.
but that's not the primary, or professional network is not the primary function of those platforms. LinkedIn
Right.
really, when it comes to top platforms, is the only one that's focused for that.
Yeah,
So
it's
not
true.
why not pay attention to it?
Why
Why not
not?
put your interest in your activity and your investment of time and resources to LinkedIn if you're trying to elevate your
Mhm.
brand or your online, your digital footprint professionally and business wise.
Yes, yes. I completely agree, and I mean, there's over 1 billion people on LinkedIn, including Fortune 500 companies, CEOs,
Mhm.
founders, then yeah, it's like if you're not on LinkedIn, it's like, "What are you doing?" You know?
It doesn't have the hype of other platforms, and that's
Right, that's
why,
it. Yeah.
unfortunately, it's not as sexy or, as fun
Yeah,
as other platforms,
right.
so people dismiss it, but when they dismiss it, especially if they're entrepreneurs, they're leaving money on the table for their
Yeah,
competitors.
yeah. What do you think is, like, the number one biggest mistake that people make on LinkedIn, and how can they correct it?
Not hiring experts like you and I. Okay,
Well
I'm
done.
sorry. Imma
Well
stop.
done.
Imma stop. Imma get
Well done.
serious.
But
So
you're right, though. You're right. So,
Mhm. So trying to figure it out on their own and stumble and make, why. But anyway,
Yeah,
that's really not the point I want to say. So it's not owning their brilliance and shining online. So
right,
using it from the, just scrolling aimlessly on the platform, doing things from the back end,
right.
DMing people or calling people, but not having an active presence on the platform and consistent presence on the platform. That's the
Yeah,
biggest thing because people forget that LinkedIn is social media. It's
it
not a
is.
static website,
Yeah,
right? Like because again, people think it's just for job seeking or whatever. So
Yeah,
they think Indeed or Monster, where it's static, right? LinkedIn is social media, so you have to show up and
you
show out.
do. Yeah. Yes, you do. Yes,
Mhm.
you do. I think that's a great tip, especially for, people who may not be leveraging the website. I mean, not the social platform at this time.
Right.
What would you say that someone needs to do? What are the top 3 things that someone needs to do if they are like, "Hey, I'm trying to upgrade my LinkedIn social presence." What should they do? Reach out to you?
Or you. That's what I was
Or
going to say. Hire an expert. Stop playing around. Okay.
right,
Good. So one, optimize their LinkedIn profile. And when I
right.
say optimize, that means customize each section from top to bottom,
Yeah.
right? Don't be basic. Level it up,
Don't
right?
be basic, level up.
Point two is build a quality network, not in a gimmicky kind of way or all
Yeah,
about the numbers, but build a quality network on the platform. And
yeah,
a third process is the content.
yeah,
Get into a cadence of consistent content that personifies your brand,
yeah.
tells your story, and provides value in an authentic way.
Yeah, exactly. And a lot of people I've noticed too is if they used to being on other platforms, when they come to this platform, it's so different. So they're always like, "Well, I don't know. This is so confusing. It's not working. What I was doing on, let's say, IG or TikTok is not
Right,
working on
right,
LinkedIn because it's a
right.
different animal. It's a
It's a
different animal."
different world. There's best practices to LinkedIn that you have to understand.
Yeah.
That's why you and I provide the services we provide, right?
Yeah,
It
yeah, yeah.
people, you can't just copy and paste what you do on the other platform, whichever one it is, and then copy and paste it on LinkedIn and then like think it's going to work. It doesn't necessarily happen because of the best practices of LinkedIn or the components of LinkedIn. And
Yeah,
so a lot of times people get frustrated and blame LinkedIn when it's really not LinkedIn's issue, it's
yeah,
their issue because
yeah.
they're not taking the time to understand the platform and prioritize it
Right,
versus blending it in with because I say with my clients, I try to, encourage them not to be everywhere.
right,
Zone in on one or two platforms, preferably LinkedIn,
right.
and excel, and then expand to another one if need be, but not
Exactly.
being everywhere. Because
Yeah.
when you're everywhere, then you lose track of what works on
Mhm.
on the platform that provides more return on the investment.
Yeah. That's really, really sound advice. I hope everyone wrote that one down because that is key, from the LinkedIn legend. So write it down, put in your notes, put a reminder. Clarene Mitchell said. I'm curious also as well. Well, what's your thoughts on AI tools?
Oh my goodness, Trish, you already know. I didn't know we was going to talk about this. Okay.
You like yet another thing.
Oh my. All right. So the real is I think LinkedIn has gone down a dark path with AI.
Mm.
And it's interesting to me because I've been a super fan, super promoter of the
Yes, you
platform
have.
for years, and I continue to be.
Yeah.
Um, but LinkedIn is a social selling platform.
Yeah.
Social selling means people to people authentically networking, right?
Yep.
That's abbreviated version of, the
Right.
definition.
Yeah.
That definition or the concept of social selling, AI doesn't isn't in there
No.
for me. But yet LinkedIn has fully embraced AI. Um, yeah, it's concerning to me because it's how do you know, like, how do you create your authentic brand on the platform and authentically grow your LinkedIn community or
Yeah.
network on LinkedIn when
Right.
you lean into AI? It's not really you that's communicating. It's not really you that it's in your content or in your comments to others. It's not really
Mm.
you, it's AI. And how long can you sustain that if that's what you're using specifically? Now,
Mhm.
there's a there's a place for everything. There's a purpose,
Right.
there's a value. So I'm not a total AI against AI. It's
Right.
just when it comes to content creation
Yeah, I
and
agree.
the process of profile optimization, because again, it's a slippery slope, right? Like
It
AI,
is.
yes, AI saved me from my typos. Yeah, I'm cool
Yeah.
with that, Grammarly and whatever.
Right.
But when it comes to content creation, I have concerns with that.
Yeah. You're absolutely right, because you lose the humanity of it, you
Mhm.
know? And I think what makes us unique is our human connection and how we sort of
Right.
phrase our thoughts and how we show up authentically. So if
Mhm.
you're using AI to create that, there's nothing authentic about it, you
It just
know?
becomes it's the same old, same old. It
Yeah.
eventually we keep going down this path. It's like where's the value base
Yeah.
with this? Where's the uniqueness? Where's the information that separates me from you or whomever else,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Well, yeah, if anybody else has any, AI, love, let me know. Just how do you guys feel about AI, using AI, to create content or not to create content? But I use AI, me personally, I use it for, like, everything, but not to actually, like, write posts. I prefer to do those myself.
Mhm,
But I use it to help me with, like, strategy, or if I'm trying to, like, put something together, it gives me a framework, and then
mhm.
I go from there, So, for me, it's good for kind of like a starting point, you know,
Okay.
and then I go from there. So, we all use it differently, but I
Right.
just wanted to get your take on it because I know you have some thoughts there. Um,
No, no shade to people who use it, no
no shade.
criticism. It's me and my views about it. So, and
Yeah.
what I choose not to do for myself or my clients, right?
Yeah. And I mean, it's completely understandable. And I'm the same as well, you know. The other question I wanted to ask you too is you love purple, you know. How
Where
did
you get that from? Why
I
would you
mean,
say that?
I want to know how this love of purple started because, and I want to know how many pieces of purple you got in your closet. I was like, Clarene got all the purple. That's why I can't find purple because you got
So I'm in my home office, and in front of me is my closet, and my office is full of purple attire, right? Like I have a closet full of just purple, well, gold and black are so,
the accents. Mhm.
supportive colors, supportive players on the team to the
Yeah.
purple, but purple is the main act. I've
Okay.
always loved purple, even before I started my business. So it just made sense for it to be my brand color. It's
Okay.
all about royalty and you know being bold and vibrant
True.
and standing out. And it's just I've had a long love affair with purple. It's my color.
I love it. I love it. Well, you wear it well, you
Thank
know.
you.
Where can people find you to work with you? You know?
Wow.
That's
I,
a tough one.
I'm yeah. Maybe LinkedIn. Maybe that would be the option.
LinkedIn, LinkedIn,
So
LinkedIn. Follow Clarene on LinkedIn.
follow, connect with me. Let me know you saw me here on Trisha's show.
Yeah.
Engage. But so LinkedIn, again, I use it very comprehensively, and that's the best option
Yeah.
to connect with me on LinkedIn.
All right. I love that. And then my final question to you, Clarene, is do you consider yourself ambitious?
My answer, my answer is not a one word answer. If that's okay with you,
Of course. I want to hear it all.
there's no limit to my ambition. Is my answer.
Oh,
So I
yes.
am not too ambitious. I am ambitious to whatever level God has for me. So
Yeah.
there's no limit to my ambition.
Yes, I love that. That is brilliant. And I hope for everyone else out there watching, know that there is no limit to your ambition, you know,
It
Clarene Mitchell
should be.
said,
It
you
should
know.
be. Mm-mm.
Yeah. Well, that is all the time that we have today. We could easily go on for another, 30 minutes or an hour. So I want to thank you for taking the time to join me. It's very rare that I have a legend on the show,
Oh, thank
who
you.
consistently shows up and is doing amazing things. And yeah, we've got to work on, actually meeting in person. Oh, wait,
I'm
wait, wait.
way in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and you're in California. So
I'm
I'm
in
not
California,
sure
Bay
where
Area.
or how, but we're gonna make it happen.
We gonna make it happen. We will. We will make it happen. As we just keep putting it out there. And so, look, Rhonda Glenn says, "I'm missing your LinkedIn news program, Clarene. It was the bomb." So look at
Love to
that.
Rhonda. And it is like it's different for me to be on the guest side because for so many years,
Yeah,
4 years, I had LinkedIn live shows,
I
and she's
know.
referring to my LinkedIn News Digest and Insights show that I
Yeah.
just ended at the end of 2024. But
Yep.
through my company page, there's a newsletter version of the show.
Ooh, look at that. Okay, I love that. So, see, Rhonda, you will always have Clarine in your life. She's not going anywhere. We all need Clarine in our life. All right, everyone. I want to thank everyone for joining me on the show, and I hope you learned a lot from my lovely guest, Clarene Mitchell, today. And I want you guys to join me next week because I have another phenomenal woman on the show. And if you would love to be a sponsor of the show, always welcome. Always welcome. Would love to hear from you. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your week, and thank you for watching Too Ambitious. See you next time. Bye.